Time again for another installment of The Basics, and on today's show, I want to show you the top rookie mistakes that you can make when building a deck for Magic the Gathering. And I've alluded to some of these on previous shows, but they're very important mistakes that you really can't make because they will screw you during a game. So let's get started, shall we? If you've watched previous episodes of the show that dealt with Magic the Gathering, you'll know that one of the things that I always stress is the biggest problem for new players is the amount of mana that you include in your deck. And as I've said, the happy medium is around 30%. Could be as high as 35% if you have a bit more cards in your deck. You don't really want to go lower than that. Even 25% is too low. And I've seen some players think that 15 or 20% of mana is enough. It's not. How are you going to bring out your creatures and your spells and those cards with a high cost if you hardly have any mana in your deck and you're struggling to bring it out? Right? Oversaturation of creatures. There are a lot of new players that see all the different creatures that they can put in their decks, and they do more of this than anything else, thinking that attacking and defending and doing all that is going to win them the game. It's not, because if you oversaturate your deck with creatures, you leave out important things, and that leads me to artifacts. Now, the 10 to 15% model doesn't work for land, but it works perfectly for artifacts, and artifacts come in handy in so many different ways in a deck for Magic the Gathering. They can enchant creatures, they can add things to creatures, they can get rid of other cards. They are extremely useful, and you want to have that happy number of artifacts in your deck. Which also leads me to one of the final mistakes that people make, and this is due to the fact that they have too many creatures in their deck, is a low amount of spells and enchantments and things like that, an instance. You need these. You need to be able to enhance your creatures or destroy artifacts or put a spell into play that'll do some damage right away to a target creature or player. You have to find the happy balance between spells and creatures. That is the bulk of your deck, are both of those. And if you're favoring one over the other, that's when you're going to start having major problems in gameplay. I've seen it happen. I did it once with one of my early Magic decks. I had the problem of having way too many creatures and practically no spells, and even my artifacts couldn't bail me out. It's as simple as that. Now, because Magic the Gathering has always been, for the most part, one of the most easiest CCGs to play and to build decks for, after you get a few games under your belt, a few rounds, you will start to learn how to build a proper deck with the right cards in it, but you always have to keep the percentages for land and artifacts and have that balance between creatures and sorcery. It's the only way you're going to win games. That's all for today. Have a great day.